Prabhuji, we are unable to hear you.
जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी, जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन, यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन, यमुना तीरावनचारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, जय राधा माधव राधे, जय गौरांगी बैंगलोरेश्वर गौरांगी बैंगलोरेश्वर गौरांगी, जय जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा, जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन, जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव, प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय अनंत देव, जय निताय चैतन्य जय निताय चैतन्य, निताय चैतन्य जय निताय चैतन्य, जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव, निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। और प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य स्तोत्र शत। His Divine Grace अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजाचार्य स्तोत्र शत। His Divine Grace भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ, श्री जीवा गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ, शत गोस्वामी प्रभुगण की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन गिरिराज महाराज की जय। मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, कावेरी माई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी महारानी की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। पावन पुरुषोत्तम मास की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories and glories and glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलङ्घयतेन गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारिणं पद्मानन्दं माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all the devotees to this Srimad Bhagavatam discussion this morning. Basically, we're discussing from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And on top of it, today is also the second day of Pavan Purushottam Mas or Adhik Mas, which we call it. So today we will be discussing 3 shlokas, and apart from those 3 shlokas, I thought we will also discuss a little bit on the services that we can offer during the month of Purushottama. So let me start with the shloka for today. Allow me to share my screen. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26, and the text number is 58 to 60 that we will take today because they're all interrelated. Text number 58. Hastau cha nirabhidyetam balam tabhyam tata swarat padau cha nirabhidyetam gatistabhyam tato hari. Hastau cha nirabhidyetam बालम तभ्यम तथा स्वरात् पादौ च निरभिद्येतं गतिस्तभ्यम ततो हरि। हस्तौ च निरभिद्येतं बालम तभ्यम तथा स्वरात् पादौ च निरभिद्येतं गतिस्तभ्यम ततो हरि. Word to word translation. Hastau, the 2 hands, cha and nirvidyetam were manifested, balam, power, tabhyam, from them, tata, thereafter, swarat, Lord Indra, padau, the 2 feet, cha and nirvidyetam became manifested, gati, the process of movement, tabhyam, from them, tata, then hari, Lord Vishnu. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, the 2 hands of the universal form of the Lord became manifested, and with them the power of grasping and dropping things. And after that, Lord Indra appeared. Next, the legs became manifested, and with them the process of movement. And after that, Lord Vishnu appeared. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The deity presiding over the hands is Indra, and the presiding deity of movement is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. Vishnu appeared on the appearance of legs of Virata Rupa. We will also continue the next two shlokas so that we can continue. I'll just read it once, the shloka, and then we will go into word-to-word translation and the translation and the purport. Nyadyo swaniravidyanta tabhyo lohitam abratam nadyastata sambhavan udaram nirbhidyata. Word-to-word translation. Nadya, the veins, asya, of the universal form, nirabhidyanta, became manifested. Tabhya, from them, lohitam, blood, abratam, was produced. Nadya, the rivers, tatha, from that, sambhavan, appeared. Udaram, the stomach, nirbhidyata, became manifest. Translation. The veins of the universal body became manifested, and thereafter the dead corpuscles or blood. In their wake came the rivers, the deities presiding over the veins, and then appeared an abdomen. Purport to the 59th verse. Blood veins are compared to rivers. When veins were manifested in the universal form, the rivers in the various planets were also manifested. The controlling deity of the rivers is also the controlling deity of the nervous system. In Ayurvedic treatment, those who are suffering from the disease of nervous instability are recommended to take bath by dipping into a flowing river. We will continue with the 60th verse as well. Kuspipase tatha swatam samrudastva etayorabhut atyasyo hridayam bhinnam hridayam mana uttitam. Word-to-word translation. Kustapipas, hunger and thirst. Tatha, then. Swayatam, appeared. Samudra, the ocean. Tu, then. Etayo, in the wake. Abhyot, appeared. Atha, then. Asya, of the universal form. Hridayam, a heart. Bhinnam, appeared. Hridayat, from the heart. Mana, the mind. Uttitam, appeared. Translation. Next grew feelings of hunger and thirst. And in their way came the manifestation of the oceans. Then the heart became manifest, and in the wake of the heart, the mind appeared. Purport. The ocean is considered to be the presiding deity of abdomen, where the feelings of hunger and thirst originate. When there is an irregularity of hunger and thirst, one is advised, according to Ayurvedic treatment, to take bath in the ocean. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the text number 58 to 60 of chapter 26 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3. Om Ajnanat Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshururmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Kalita Shri Vishakhamritamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes. With the torch of knowledge, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Hare Krishna. So, 3 shlokas which will actually give us the insight into what the material creation is, and the Lord, He created it, and how did He create it, and why did He create it? So, quite a bit of conversation that we're going to have today. And starting with this shloka, where we see this is from the 3rd canto, which says status quo, and the chapter is titled Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. Here, Kapila Muni is giving this knowledge to Mother Devahuti on her inquiring, and Kapila Muni, who's the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, is giving this knowledge to Mother Devahuti and telling her that this is very common, and this is how I have created it, and this is how the world or the material nature is going to continue. In the material nature also many people try to learn. Like if we look at Darwin theory was there. He had his own propounded theory. Then you have the materialistic people, or you have the scientists who, try to concoct a lot of things. But if we follow Srimad Bhagavatam is known as Amala Puranam. Everything is there in it. Srila Prabhupada actually criticizes the scientist. Well, he doesn't criticize them for the good things that they do. He criticizes the scientists because they concoct a lot of things. They try to get something which is not the truth. And he says that when everything is available in Srimad Bhagavatam, we don't have to create anything. We don't have to go outside the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's already there. The Lord himself has given it. It is not, Srila Prabhupada said, it is my knowledge, so you take it. No, he says, I'm giving you the knowledge which came in parampara. Evam parampara praptam. This was spoken by Krishna himself. And when this knowledge was spoken and it is already there, why should we really look at it? Yeah. For example, Vyasadeva gave us the complete knowledge. Ganeshji wrote it down, and the knowledge came because we knew that we are very forgetful. We may, not remember everything. But then in the earlier days, when Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken to Shukadeva Goswami, all the 18,000 verses were memorized. He did not look at the book and, kind of refer it, how we do it today. So we don't have to, what Srila Prabhupada is saying here is you don't have to create anything. Everything is given by the Lord. Just take the reference from it and work around it. This is what we do it. So here we see in the previous chapter, Kapila Muni is giving Sankhya philosophy to Mother Devahuti. And Sankhya philosophy is nothing different than the Sanatana Dharma. There's nothing different. Many people confuse it. And especially the Mayavadis, they give different interpretation to Sankhya philosophy. Here it is only the instructions, and he explained about the 8. In this chapter, he expressed in this chapter about the 8 separated energies of the Lord and how the energies of the Lord act. This is what is given here. So we again look at ether, air, sound, fire, earth, all of that. We've been discussing this for quite some time. Yeah. And in Bhagavad Gita 7.4 also, Krishna gives this very clear example. Bhumi rapu nalovayo kamam mano buddhirevacha ahankara iti hamme bhinna prakriti astada. It is earth, water, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, this 8 constitute my separated material energy. So Krishna is very clear. It says, it constitutes my separated energy. So it comes from Krishna. It is not that it is ever existing. It came in from Krishna. How is it coming? Srila Prabhupada says, all this together comprise of my separated energy. Srila Prabhupada gives this in the purport, that Krishna is saying that all this comes together because they comprise of my separated energy. Like you have Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, Sparsha, form of taste, then you have form of smell and form of touch. Yeah. So here we see that two hands are appearing. Without the hand, we can't do anything. And then when we see some people who do not have hands, they compensate it with other parts of the body. But it is a very important part of the body. This actually helps us saying we can do arati to the Lord, we can offer things to the Lord, we can get flowers picked up from the hand. So it's a very important organ of the body. And here Kapila Muni is mentioning that behind every organ there is a presiding deity. Here Indra is responsible for the hands. This is one of his portfolios. Like he has many other portfolios, like we hear the story of Govardhan Leela. In Govardhan Leela, he was responsible for the rain, rain which was which actually tried to, because he was bewildered at that point of time, he tried to act independently. And Krishna taught him a lesson by lifting the Govardhana hill. And for 7 days and 7 nights, it rained so heavily. But then Krishna protected all his devotees. So that's another part of the story. But then here, he also has the other portfolios like rain, etc. So hand becomes a portfolio of Lord Indra. The limbs manifest and actions, then the Lord has appeared. When the limbs have appeared, when the limbs have manifested, then Lord Vishnu appeared. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna wanted to see Krishna's Virata Rupa. He desired, and for anybody to see the Virata Rupa, it is not possible. It is only possible for Arjuna to see that also with the mercy of the Lord that he could see. So here we see that behind everything there is a departmental head, but without the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they cannot perform the activities. And that is the reason Lord Vishnu is appearing here. And if we understand as to why Arjuna wanted to see the Virat Rupa, in Bhagavad Gita 11.3, he very clearly says, this is in order to convince the people who may say in future that Krishna is an ordinary person or a fictitious person or he's a made-up person. Yeah, he did not exist. So he is requesting Krishna to show his Virata Rupa. No, actually, he's not a fictitious person. He's not an ordinary person. He is a person who's supreme. And nobody other than Arjuna could see the Virata Rupa. So in future, he could prove the supremacy of the Lord. Arjuna wanted to see that how the Lord taught him to act in the material world and still be aloof from it. So if we see, Krishna tells that this is my separated energy. He's a part of it, but still he is aloof from it. He is not into it. He does not get bound by the material world like, we get bound by the material world. So Purushottama, that is among all the Purushas, he is the best. We will also be speaking about the Purushottama Mass today. And here Krishna is the Purusha. Among the best, he is the Purushottama. So he is the best among the Purushas. To see the universal form and convince the others, like the scientists and the mental concoctors, have a different version. So that's why Arjuna wanted to see the universal form. There are times that people call themselves Bhagwan so-and-so. I am Bhagwan so-and-so, Bhagwan so-and-so. No. They can't even show a part of the universal form of the Lord. They are actually not gods, though they call themselves gods. But Srila Prabhupada says they are actually dogs. Pardon me, this is Srila Prabhupada's statement. I'm just making the statement that Srila Prabhupada has made. It's a false claim that they have. In Canto 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th chapter, 26 to 29th verse, I want to read this for all of you. This is very profound. And it is very well connected with our shloka that we are discussing today. So the purport, or sorry, the translation goes like this. Because the sky is transformed, the air is generated with the quality of touch, and by previous succession of air is full of sound and the basic principles during duration of life, sense perception, mental power, and bodily strength. When the air is transformed in the course of time and nature's course, fire is generated, taking shape with a sense of touch and sound. Since fire is also transformed, there is a manifestation of the water full of juice and taste. As previously, it is also has form and touch, and is also full of sound. And water being transformed from all variegatedness on earth appears odorous, and as previously become qualitatively full of juice, touch, sound, and form respectively. Kapila Muni gives the Sankhya philosophy, that is God sanctioned Brahma, and from there came the other living entities. Brahma was the first living entity, and from there all the other entities came. And in the next this one verse, the details of the blood corpuscles are given. Yeah, and it is talking about the body in which how the blood is circulating, and it is very, very scientifically given in Srimad Bhagavatam, as we see, as to how the body appears. In Canto 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's known as a science of God. Lord actually gives the 8 separated material energies in 3 modes of material nature. That is 11 senses and 5 gross material elements. That is the 16 total, like earth, water. There is the spirit soul, who is the observer. All the great acharyas have concluded that individual soul is conditioned by the material elements. All these material elements, which are again creation of the Lord. And we can't understand the theory. It is only by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the acharyas that they gave us the science to be understood and get out of this bewilderment. Many people don't want to be saved at all. They still want to say, I am the body. You can't help them. But for those who are inquisitive and who are interested, Srila Prabhupada and the acharyas have given this wonderful understanding of the material, cross material elements and the 8 sense objects. And by understanding this, we can get out of this bewilderment. Srila Prabhupada says that blood veins are compared to the rivers, controlling deities of the nervous system, and controls the rivers as well. So if people with nervous problems, they should go take bath in the river. This is advisable, in the running water which is there. If we really go back and look at it, all the sages and the devotees also go to the rivers, where it should not be swimming. These days, it is compared to, going into the river and swimming. No, that is not the whole idea. If you've noticed in the videos of Srila Prabhupada, he would not stay into the water for a very long time. He would just go inside, hold his breath. Don't spend too much of a time. Just take dip and come out. Yeah, we should not be playing with the water, but even the touch of the water is so soothing, so cooling, that it can take away some of these diseases with the nervous problems that we have. Basically, because the river flows to all the rocks, and then it comes down from all the way from Vaikuntha, and then flows through all the rocks, and then there are a lot of minerals which actually get accumulated into the water of the river, and then it takes away a lot of material diseases that we have. It also enhances our spiritual growth. So it is also advisable that if we get an opportunity, we should go to the holy rivers and take the dip. So in this month of Pavan Purushottam Mas, we should try, if we are able to, travel in the vicinity of rivers for devotees from Bangalore. You have Kaveri, which is just about 1.5 hour drive from Bangalore. You should go on one of these days and have, darshan of Kaveri Maya and have a dip. So in the 58th verse, Indra appears. Indra is the king of heaven and gets puffed up, and he tries to have relation. This is another story where we see that, he tries to have relation with Gautam Muni's wife. Her name is Ahilya, and then he gets cursed. And Indra is also getting conditioned, and Krishna punishes him. Like we've also seen the example in the Govardhan Leela. Indra was puffed up because the direct seva to him was stopped by Krishna. And then he, orders the Samantaka cloud to flood the place and rain heavily. But then Krishna punishes him by showing his mercy. Okay, so the movements of the hands are controlled by Indra, and we pray to him for better health. We should always fold our hands and say, we should not worship him. Srila Prabhupada says this very clearly. We can pray to him, but we can't worship him. As we have to perform various services to the Lord, like, we pray him because we want to do a lot of service, like cooking, and, washing, doing the arati, performing the arati, etc. Then the legs are manifested. And legs manifestation is the process of movement. Till such time, if one doesn't have legs, then there is a movement which is not there. And if there is no movement, it is restricted completely. We see many people who lost kind of their legs, or they've lost the sensation of their legs, are bedridden. So the process of movement for them is completely stopped. The Lord is giving us this human form. And if we don't utilize in the service of the Lord, then we are as good as animals. Swayam go karecha. Yeah. If we are engaged only in 4 things like eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then we are like animals. We have no differentiation at all. Then we will be called Dvipada Pashu. Animals with 2 legs. Generally, the animals have 4 legs. But then if we don't behave like human beings, then we are Dvipada Pashu. As a very special form, there is a very special human form, with mind, intelligence, and ego. We should understand and go in the service of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada also makes this example. He says, the movement of ISKCON was formed, and he wanted, Srila Prabhupada made this statement saying that so many demigods will appear in ISKCON. Yeah. And that is the reason he said proper procreation should be there. Nice progeny will come, and then they will take this movement further. We see so many wonderful Vaishnavas in our movement, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, and, a lot of their disciples. So they're all, nice demigods, and they will appear in ISKCON, and we have to take care of the procreation, and, then the movement can move further. But then at the same time, the Big Bang Theory is actually just a disaster. Yeah. So that is what happens. The essence of the discussion between Kapila Muni and Mother Devahuti is that we try and appreciate the creation of the Lord and take advantage to advance in our spiritual life. Well, here, I think we missed out. I think one part of it is, then we talk about the abdomen, where the feeling of hunger and thirst originate. And when there is irregularity of hunger, it is advised that we go and take bath in the ocean. Yeah. And in the previous verse, yeah, it talks about the blood corpuscles or red blood corpuscles, and the way came the rivers, the presiding deity over veins, and they appeared as an abdomen. So here, the complete essence of this discussion between Lord Kapila Dev and Mother Devahuti is that we try to appreciate the creation of the Lord and take advantage to advance in our spiritual life. Not take advantage in the material life and continue to stay here in various forms of life. Currently, we've got this human form of life. But if we don't take advantage and advance in our spiritual life, we may go to the lower planetary system, we may go to the lower living beings, we may become animals, reptiles, birds, whatever. So it is very important that we take advantage of this situation and advance in our spiritual life, rebuild our relationship with the Supreme Lord. So why are we saying rebuild? Because we did have relationship with him. It's just that temporarily we had lost that relationship because we tried to be independent. So Kapila Muni is giving very clear instruction here, saying that we should appreciate the creation, take advantage to advance in the spiritual life, rebuild our relationship with the Lord. Yeah. There's a very profound statement. Krishna says, I'm there in every atom. Every atom, Krishna is available. Krishna is manifesting himself. So we should take advantage of this wonderful opportunity that has been given to us by the Lord to ensure that we go back home, back to Godhead. And we've got such wonderful Vaishnavas who help us doing it. And Srila Prabhupada has given us everything about the progress in the spiritual life. So here, many people think that why are we talking about the material world when we want to be in the spiritual world? Material world is an energy of Krishna, separated energy of Krishna. And Kapila Muni himself is giving this differentiation, saying that how the material world is created, how it is created, and how it moves further. But at the same time, he says that we are not supposed to be staying here permanently. We have to take advantage of the situation and move further, go back home or back to God. So that's about the discussion from the today's 3 shlokas that we discussed. I would like to discuss a little about the Purushottam Mass that we are celebrating with the mercy of a nice devotee who came in from Mathura Desh. He shared this PPT and I thought it was very nice for me to show it to all our devotees and take advantage of what they have already created. This is not my creation. This is created by devotees from Mathura Desh. And this is talking about Purushottam Mass. Okay. This is the Purushottam Mass has already started from the 18th of July and it will continue till the 16th of August. We talk about the history of Purushottam Mass, glories of Purushottam Mass, observing the Purushottam Mass Vrata, and the songs for Purushottam Mass. So basically, history of Purushottam Mass, I'll quickly read it. In the Hindu calendar, there are extra months called the Adhik Mass. Now, this comes basically because in the English calendar, there are 30 or 31 days. But as far as Hindu calendar is concerned, it is only 29.5 days. So every 2 calendars, every 12 months, every 3 years, there is this extra 30 days which actually come in. And that's the reason the Adhik Mass comes. We are following the lunar calendar, whereas they are following the solar calendar. So how did Adhik Mass appear? As I said, the lunar month has 29.5 days. That's the moon cycle. So in a month, in the solar cycle, we have 30 or 31 days. The lunar year consists of 354 days. And the solar year consists of 365 days. So as the year passes by, the lunar month starts earlier than the corresponding month. In both the lunar and solar years, there's a difference of 11 days, and the difference increases to 29 or 30 days every upcoming 2 or 3 years and becomes a full month. To compensate making 2 calendars, similarly, an extra month is added to lunar calendar called the Adhik Mass or Purushottam Mass. Now, this is the scientific evidence that we are talking about. Now, the glories of Purushottam Mass, Krishna himself says this to Brahma, O Vishnu, you have done a very great deed by bringing this extra month to me. You will become even more famous for performing this act. And then Krishna says that, the Mala Mass or the Adhik Mass went to Krishna and said, I don't have a presiding deity at all. So Krishna said, I will become the presiding deity of this Purushottam Mass. And I will be there. And this month, which we celebrate, is got the highest benefit as far as spiritual progress is concerned. With whatever we do, it gives us 1,000-time benefit. So, for example, when devotees are chanting 16 rounds, it is actually as good as chanting 16,000 rounds. What a beautiful amazing opportunity for us to really grow in this month. And as devotees, we've been following it for so many years. And I'm sure these observance of Purushottam Mass is the best of austerities. So there are 3 things that devotees have to really look at: japa, tapa, and dana. We have to chant, we have to read, we have to do austerities during this month, and we have to give donations. Donations to the worthy again. Okay. So, few statements. Lord Krishna says, Purushottam Mass has all the power I have to bless its observer. One who follows Purushottam Vrata will destroy all his past sinful reactions. Without performing Purushottam Vrata, one cannot perform pure devotional service. The value of Purushottam Mass is far more valuable than all the other types of austerity and religious activities mentioned in the Vedas. Anyone who observes Purushottam Vrat will return to my abode, Goloka, at the end of this time. Hari Bol. Krishna himself is making this statement, so profound statement. Then comes a statement by Durvasa Muni. Just by bathing in the holy river during Purushottam month, one becomes sinless. The glory of all other months is not equal to 1/16th of the glory of Purushottam Mass. By bathing in holy places, giving charity, and chanting the holy name of Krishna during Purushottam month, all miseries are destroyed. One attains all kinds of perfection and fulfills all its desire. Who will not want to destroy all the miseries that we have? In the material world, we are always suffering. Happiness, whenever it comes, it is only flickering, comes for a few moments and goes out. So in the month of Purushottam, we are very, very fortunate that we have this opportunity to purify ourselves, and all the miseries are destroyed, and one can attain the perfection of life. Perfection of life is going back home, back to God. Another very profound statement by Valmiki Muni is, by observing the Purushottam Vrata, one attains more benefits than performing 100 horse sacrifices. Please see how important this Purushottam Mass is. All holy places live within the body of Purushottama month, Vrata. Anyone who faithfully performs Purushottam Mass will go back to Golok Vrindavan. So there are many profound statements that we will continue. How do we perform the Purushottam Mass? There are many things that we can do. There's a list of a lot of things that we can really look at. So rising early in the morning, chanting Jai Radhe at Brahma Muhurat, 1.5 hours before the sunrise, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is what we all do every day, but then we should increase our chanting. The maximum benefit is arrived by observing Vrata in Vrindavan, Mayapur, or Holy Dham. But with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, he said, wherever there are devotees and wherever there is chanting of the holy name, it becomes a holy place. So, those who cannot travel, who cannot stay in Vrindavan, Mayapur, or the other holy places, need not feel morose saying that I don't get the benefit of observing this Vrata. You get the maximum benefit. Srila Prabhupada always said, preaching is the essence. Practicing and preaching are two very important things that we can really do it. Yeah, we have to offer puja, we have to offer lambs, we have to follow all these things in the month of, in this 1 month. You have Purnima, you have Ekadashi, so we follow of them. It is also advisable to offer Aarti and Parikrama to Tulsi Devi. Daily we have to also circumambulate the temple. So, in case if we are not able to go to the temple, any Vishnu temple around our house you can go. And if that is also not possible, have the deities or have your photos of the deities and circumambulate around them. That is also the Mandira Pradakshina or Mandira Parikrama. Well, other things other than this is to offer flowers to the deities, read Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially Canto 14. 10th Canto, Chapter 14, Brahma Stuti. Then you can also hear from the advanced Gaudiya Vaishnavas about Radha and Krishna and their pastimes. Chant Jagannath Astakam, chant Chorastakam, chant the Narsimha Kavacha. These are all very important. We have to also take a vow that we will remain peaceful and 100% truthful throughout the month, not to blaspheme any devotees, not to commit the offenses at the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. You should not offend the cows, Shastras, or anyone observing the Purushottam Mass. Don't ask anybody anything. Be satisfied with whatever you have, and you don't have to endeavor to acquire anything material during this month. Try and make the maximum use of the spiritual advancement that we can think of during this month, rather than looking at acquiring anything material. There are many other things depending on your level which you would like to do. But very important for us during this month, again, as I said earlier, is chanting of the Narasimha Stotra, Chorastakam. Also chanting this very important Govardhana Shloka, Govardhana Dhara Vande. This is chanted by Kaundinya Muni during the Purushottam Mass. Govardhana Dharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulotsavameshanam Govindam Gopika Priyam. So please chant this mantra. It is very auspicious to chant this mantra during the month of Purushottam. Then you also have Chorastakam. You can also, sing the song Sri Nanda Nandanastakam, Radhika Swatva, Jagannath Ashtakam, Brahma Sattva, and Srimad Bhagavatam. You have to read Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, the Purushottama Yuga, should also be read. So this is about the Purushottam Mass. Sorry, I will have to stop my sharing. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, there we go. So very important Mass. In a nutshell, very, very simple for us to follow with Jap, Tap, and Dan. You can classify all the activities that we do during this month within these 3 areas: increase our chanting, increase our reading, increase our attention to the deities, serving the deities, serving the devotees, spreading the holy name of the Lord, which is very important. Tapa, our own personal austerities like waking up. All of us wake up early in the morning, but then a little extra, wake up half an hour, 45 minutes earlier and do some extra services. So that's the tapa that we do. And we should give charity. We should feed the cow, and we should, serve the Vaishnavas, get Vaishnavas home and feed them. And, in the Dham, if you are there, then you can feed the sadhus and Vaishnavas who are there. So this is about today's discussion on the material nature from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26, which talked about the body of the Lord, part of the body of how the body appeared, and then Virat Rupa came in. And then we also discussed about the Purushottam Mass. Thank you very much for joining. I'll be happy to take any questions that you might have, or if you have any doubts, I could clarify, or if you have any comments, please go ahead and make. So thank you very much for joining us and giving me an opportunity to speak today. It is by the mercy of Guru and Krishna that I could speak whatever I have, and with the mercy of Vaishnavas that I could get this opportunity. So we'll open it for question answer in case if you have any questions, or if you have any doubts or any comments to make on whatever we discussed today.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhu, I have a doubt. So, see, after coming to Krishna conscious only, we got to know about Purushottam month, and we are following. And so, if before that we weren't, so will that be counted as a sin, or like, how do we take that, Prabhu?
Mataji, what happens is, it is not counted as sin. We've done something, or we have not followed something because we did not know about this. But the bigger advantage that we should really look at is, having got to know about it now, we should ensure that we follow it. And whatever benefits that we get in Purushottam Mass will help you tide over whatever you have not got over earlier. So we should do the maximum. We should try to make the maximum out of this. And there is no sin if we have not done something. Unless and until you've committed something wrong, then there is no sin. But after coming to the understanding of the Shastras and knowing about it, we should follow it very, very diligently and very nicely.
Thank
I
you,
hope that
Prabhu.
answers your question,
Yes,
Mataji.
yes, Prabhu.
So let's follow it together. I'm saying, all the devotees coming together, the temple has organized such nice things. There are many devotees who are doing it outside. I would also suggest that as many people as possible, if you can bring them to the temple, because temple has organized a very nice program of offering sevas, sevas like offering pujas for the devotees who are coming. So we do a sankalpa when we come to the temple, and then, if we, when devotees come on their behalf, the pujaris will offer prayers at the lotus feet of the Lord. So we can get our, known people, our friends, and this is a very nice opportunity for them to also take advantage of it. Apart from our taking advantage, we all know that it is 1,000 times better. Even without knowing, they will come to the temple with your efforts. Then it will be very nice for them to get the benefit of this Purushottam Mass. Thank you very much for asking a very pertinent question about the Purushottam Mass.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So if we do not have any other questions, I will end the session here. Thank you very much for joining. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Purushottam Mass ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.